The gambling match. The old blind king Dhritarashtra was excited and impatient about the coming gambling match between his son Duryodhan and the Pandavas. He proudly looked around at the hall he had specially prepared for this purpose. It was packed with rulers from the neighboring countries and several other distinguished guests. In the center of the hall sat Duryodhan, his uncle Shakuni, and their supporters. Facing them were Yudhishthir, backed by his brothers. The royal seats were occupied by Dhritarashtra, Sanjay, Vidur, Karn, the wise old Bhishma, and the 100 brothers of Duryodhan. As the game was about to begin, Yudhishthir said, "Please play a fair game and do not try to win by unfair means." Shakuni replied, "There can be no such thing as cheating in a game. Winning a game is always a matter of skill." "I agree," said Yudhishthir. "Then let's begin." "But," said Shakuni, "if you have any doubts, let's not play. We are ready to withdraw." Yudhishthir replied, "Having accepted the challenge, I will not withdraw. Let us begin. With who am I to play? I have gems, wealth, and gold. Whoever can match my stake, let him begin." Duryodhan immediately said, "I too stake my jewels and wealth, and Shakuni, my uncle, will play on my behalf." "But," said Yudhishthir, "you can't let him play by proxy. However, if you so wish, let us begin." Beginning with a handful of gems, the stakes grew in size. Yudhishthir was caught in a gambler's frenzy. He forgot who he was and what he was doing. He became blind to everything except the ivory white dice and the checkered board. The clatter of the rolling dice was followed every few minutes by Shakuni's repeated words, "I win," and loud cheers from his supporters. "I have hundreds of beautiful women. I have the finest chariot with golden wheels and bells that can ring across the earth," said Yudhishthir. But whatever the stake, Duryodhan accepted it calmly because he knew for sure that they were going to win. Again and again, Shakuni repeated, "I win." The elders in the assembly hall were aghast. Every time the dice clattered on the board, Yudhishthir lost all he staked, his elephants, armies, cattle, and territories. Shakuni wished to anger Yudhishthir even more and mockingly said, "You have lost a great deal, but I'll give you time to remember what else you have." When Yudhishthir heard this, he was very angry. It hurt his pride, and he foolishly staked more and more. Thus he lost more cattle, sheep, horses, territories, his city, the country, his land and wealth, and all his dwelling places. At this point, Vidur got up and begged Dhritarashtra to stop the match. He even pleaded that Duryodhan be destroyed, for he was a jackal that would one day be the cause of the family's destruction. It took a lot of courage for Vidur to speak like this, but he had to because he knew Shakuni was cheating. Yet Dhritarashtra didn't say a word. Duryodhan was very annoyed and said, "You have no right to speak in favor of our enemies. You owe your bread and shelter to us." And so the game went on. Yudhishthir looked around and pointed to his younger brother, Nakul, and said, "He is the brother I adore. He is my wealth. I stake him." "I win," declared Shakuni, and Nakul crossed over to Duryodhan's side. Thus Yudhishthir lost all his other brothers, Sahadev, Arjun, and Bhim. Yudhishthir then staked himself, and again Shakuni repeated, "I win." Shakuni wanted to insult Yudhishthir even more. He roused him to anger by saying, "Only the Princess Panchali is left. Will she not feel lonely with all her husbands gone suddenly?" Yudhishthir had by now lost all his judgment. He said, "Yes, Panchali is like the goddess Lakshmi. She is our luck. We will win back every bit we have lost. Now I will stake her." When Yudhishthir said this, there was an outcry of protest in the assembly, but no one could do anything. Shakuni once again declared, "I win."